Across Canada, student leaders are coming together to build the future of post-secondary education. So what does student advocacy actually look like in Canada?
CASA is a federal advocacy group, so it brings together student leaders from all across the country so we can advocate for one common goal, for the betterment of the student experience across the country.
CASA is basically a group of ambitious students, young students and mature students who would like to see a change on the federal level in terms of post-secondary education.
Being part of CASA means that I am part of a bigger community that is there to represent students on all many different levels federally. And it's really about bringing people together for one cause, which is students in Canada.
Throughout the year, student leaders come together to learn, collaborate, and prepare for advocacy. CASA holds 4 conferences every year. Earlier in the summer, student leaders gather from across the country for our Foundations Conference. A month after, they come back again in Ottawa for our Policy and Strategy Conference, where they set the priority for the year. Later in the fall, they gather back on Parliament Hill to advocate directly to parliamentarians, stakeholders, on priorities that matter to them and their peers. And later at the end of the year, in the winter semester, they gather for the annual general meeting where we conclude the year and celebrate our wins while also getting ready for the next academic year.
The Foundations Conference is where you learn all the basics on how to be an effective advocate for your students at the federal level especially. It's similar to advocating like you would back home, maybe at a municipal level or provincial, but it's slightly different strategy and a slightly different way of presenting things and a much larger scale in my opinion. So at Foundations, that's where you're learning the starting point of how to do all of that effectively, making connections with all the other people that you're going to be advocating alongside for the year, and learning about CASA itself so you can effectively be a member of the organization and get the most out of it.
Foundations truly helped me get together my skills as a lobbyist, where I was able to network with other student union members and see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and kind of connect with them because it's a very niche environment. So that's what Foundation was for me, is a lot of networking and meeting people.
Foundations is where we lay the groundwork for how we're gonna work with each other throughout the year, and it's really an opportunity for us to understand that we are all working towards the same cause.
This work leads to real conversation, real collaboration, and real impact.
After Foundations, we go talk to our students to go to Polystrat, where we go and talk about the priorities that we want to set out for the year. What issues we want to tell the federal government? How can the federal government improve the student experience at our universities, colleges, polytechnics, and all of our post-secondary institutions? What can they do to make a difference? And what can we do to help support them in any way we can to make sure student voices are being heard from across the country?
Polystrat is literally CASA's consultation with membership. That's how we get our ideas onto paper in consultation to our policy committee, to the people pushing it to the federal government. I thought Polystrat was so much fun. It's super exciting to be able to bring the issues that matter the most on your campus to actual federal policy and really see and gauge what everyone else is feeling across the country.
At the Policy Strategy Conference, student leaders gather to discuss the annual action plan put together by the Board of Directors. At that conference, they also elect the leaders for the committees that will be working throughout the year on the priorities that matters to students across the country. At the end of the conference, we will have a full-on annual action plan and also committee work plans that the organization will work towards the year in terms of ensuring that post-secondary education remains at the forefront of advocacy.
Advocacy Week was, I feel like, a time where we all finally showed our growth. To me personally, it was something that I was always really looking forward to. It was something brand new. I had never lobbied. It was the first time being very affiliated in terms of getting out there, speaking to MPs, speaking to senators, and it was cool seeing that growth. It wasn't something that I would have foreseen before jumping into the role, and I think it just showed a lot of like teamwork as well. Everyone came together, everyone was so happy. We could hear what we were advocating for.
Well, this was my first Advo week, and it was just the most interesting experience ever. Being in room with those important people, I never thought I would be able to do that. And well, CASA Home Office and CASA Board, they provided us with comprehensive trainings that I was able to be confident and quarterback some meetings and talk to MPs one-on-one and talk about what issues are important to my students, and it was just an enriching experience altogether, and I would totally recommend it to anyone.
And lastly, we gather for our annual general meeting, OAGM, where we reflect on the year we've had and start getting ready for the next year of student leaders coming in back again at Foundations.
Being part of CASA has put me in a space where I felt that I belong, a space that I didn't feel judged in.
As an individual, I think it's brought me, like I mentioned before, a community, the people.
CASA for me is the space where I get together with like-minded individuals and bring change not only to my campus, but to campuses across the country and have an impact on the lives of students from coast to coast to coast.
Together, student associations across Canada are building a stronger national student voice.
This is Student Advocacy Canada.